All other definitions you find in this field, I mean social informatics, would be the same, although maybe the appearance of the definition is different, but all of them are about this. When you analyze IT in the context of culture, in the context of organization, it is social informatics. Let's go for the second definition that is absolutely the same. SI is the study of, the same as this study, of the design, uses, and consequence of ID. So you see here it says simply SI is the study of ID. Here it says SI is the study of design, uses, and consequence of ID. So you see, now you are seeing that how much they are the same. Here just it has more clarification, more articulation. IT that takes into account their interaction with institutional and cultural constitution. As you can see, again, institution and context, cultural context. Here again we had the same, but here it explained about what aspects of IT they are checking, and also it talks about interaction, as I told you. So similar to the previous one, it is just about IT and culture and organization. Even if you go and check the literature and find hundreds of other definitions, they are going to be the same. Social informatics is just that simple context. But of course, you need to be very experienced regarding the projects in this field. For example, when you go into a technological institution to do such analysis, or when you go to an educational institution to do such analysis, if you go to healthcare, all of them are different, but the definition is this, no more than that. Okay, and here we have the third bullet. It says SI refers to the body of research and a study that examines social aspects of computerization, including roles of IT in social and organizational changes. Again, you see how much it is repetition of the previous one. It used the word research, it used the word study. So you see, we have this word extra to this. And it says, talks about social aspects of computerization. So here from IT, it is talking about the electronic era. Okay, so you see, when you have standard definitions, how it empowers your analysis strength. Because when you see here computerization, you will notice quickly that what era it is talking about, including the roles of IT in, again, social and organizational changes, the uses of IT in social context, and the ways that the social organization of information technology, that is IT, is influenced by social forces and social practices. I hope that you are agreeing with me 100% that all these three definitions are the same. And the good news for you, our class is not about memorizing definitions. Absolutely, I'm not going to ask you to memorize this definition, or for example, at exam, I ask you, bring or write three definitions we have for social informatics. No, I want you to understand these definitions and be able to do analysis on them. And now I guess we are done with definitions of social informatics. Just one last point that could be beneficial here I mentioned, because you see, when we start from this definition to this one, articulation gets more and more when we follow from the first to the last bullet. Here it puts an interesting articulation that it says how the social organization of information technology. So the way an information technology is being used in an organization is influenced by social forces and social practices. So it talks about the forces that are effective in this dynamicity between information technology and culture, information technology and social aspects of the organization. Now that you know the definition of social informatics, absolutely it becomes apparent that it is a transdisciplinary field, because as I told you, there are many things could be discussed in social informatics, and above all of them is the knowledge of sociology that I told you we are not going to go in that track. Maybe if this course was presented in the department of sociology, they focus on that part, but we are not going to put the focus on that part. And when we are allowed to discuss in social informatics from the perspective of data analyzer, and also we can do it from the perspective of a sociologist, and also we can do it from the perspective of a manager, or also if we can do it from the perspective of an engineer, it means that it is a transdisciplinary field. It means that it is an interdisciplinary field. It relates to more than one branch of knowledge. Social informatics as a transdisciplinary field is part of a larger body of socioeconomic research that examines the way in which the technological artifact and human social context interact. If you ask my opinion, I will say that it is exactly repetition of what we learned together in the previous part, just with pointing out some more points. For example, it says that part of a larger body of socioeconomic research, but also we can add to this socioeconomic, we can add also the engineering aspect, we can also add the managerial aspect, we can also add the technological aspect, the analytics aspect to that. The point about this slide that now you are seeing is the point that social informatics is a vast area of knowledge, and we have huge amount of literature and researches in this way, that they are all also not, they are not all of them are, and do their analysis from the one perspective, from different perspective. And in this course, you will notice the path of our class keep itself completely technological, and we are not gonna talk about those things, especially about, I have a last slide in this presentation that tells you why. And okay, now you know about information technology, you know about social informatics, different definitions, and about this as a transdisciplinary field. But what about its background? When they started to consider the social aspects of information technology? As you can see in the slide, it is very new field of knowledge. Western European concepts of SI research has been strong in the Scandinavian countries and the UK. The beginning can be traced to 1980s in Norway and Slovenia. So You notice, for example, when they were in the, for example, electromechanical era of information technology, they never thought about the effects of information technology on the culture. Although absolutely it had. It doesn't mean that, for example, when they when they invented telephone, it didn't have any effect on the social interaction, the chemistry of interaction between people. Of course, there would be many changes. You cannot say at that era there would be no effect on the structure of the companies after invention of, for example, telephone. Of course, but this field of knowledge came to birth in Europe, came to life in Europe in 1980s. And the fundamentals of social informatics in the USA were laid in 1996 at Indiana University. So you see the field is very new, and they are discussing mostly the computerization of things on the culture and similar stuff. And since it is very cultural type of things, my friends, very interesting. In the third bullet that you can see, there are several approaches which were historically named or classified as social informatics. American, Russian, British, Norwegian, Slovenian, German, and Japanese. So you see, it is based on the name of the countries because it is very cultural, because it is about the human, I hope I'm right with the word, human interactions. So you see, for example, they say American social informatics. You see, for example, we have British social informatics. You see, for example, we have German social informatics. And likewise, so as a data analyzer, if somebody somewhere asks you or invite you for participating in a social informatics project, you should know that it is not a field that, for example, for 200 years people are working about. No, it's quite new things, and always you as a part of society, even without previous experience in this field, could be the most contributing person to that project. Why? Because maybe you know about that culture, maybe you know about that app, maybe you know about the delicate cultural aspects of that thing better than any other one with more experience in, for example, 10 other social informatics projects. Remember, as I told you, you need to be experienced, you need to be knowledgeable to be able to do social informatics projects, as I mentioned in the previous slide. Remember, I'm just talking about you as a newcomer contributing potential to the project. It doesn't mean if you don't know anything about such projects, just because of the fact you know the app, you know the area, you can quickly do a perfect social informatics project. I just mentioned that to distinguish between the point that I'm telling you, you as a newcomer in a social informatics project can be the most contributing, even without any previous experience, because you can see the background goes to 1996 in the United States. I hope I'm not confusing you. Just in case you find it confusing, what was that point and what was this point, quickly just send me a message and I would be happy to start discussing this type of stuff with you.